It was sort of by accident, but I guess the best things in life maybe sometimes do happen by accident.
Mhm.
When you're faced with these situations, following your dreams, say yes first, regret later.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to my channel. I'm Agnes, corporate trainer and strength coach. And I would like to introduce a very special guest today to my series. He's my very good old friend, knowing him from Hong Kong. He told me that taking on project, you need to go through failures. How you accept and also work it out is also by your own choice. And from his story today, we can see how he followed his dream and it really manifests to become true. He is bookshop owner at Ivy Bridge in UK. And let's welcome my special guest today and share his story, Matt Steele. Thank you,
Thanks,
Matt.
Agnes. Thank you. Pleasure to be here. Good to see you. Well, I've known Agnes probably for about, sorry, how long is it? 12 years or so. We met in Hong Kong at a Toastmasters meeting. I think we'll cover that a little bit more. But currently, I'm just living back in the UK where I was originally living before going to Hong Kong. And now with Winnie, we are owning a bookshop in the southwest of England. It's about 2 or 3 hours from London, so a little bit far from the city, out in a more rural area. But that's part of the attraction.
Tell me why you came to Hong Kong and lived in Hong Kong for so many years.
It was sort of by accident, but I guess the best things in life maybe sometimes do happen by accident.
Mm-hmm.
I'd been at university in the UK and I'd really wanted to visit Hong Kong. I'd heard lots about it. I'd met people who'd been there, who'd lived there. And after university, I just really wanted a holiday. So I thought, I'm going to go to Hong Kong, have a holiday for a couple of weeks, really get to see the place a little bit. But then, really, just by accident, I suppose, I managed to get a job there in a bookshop, just as a sales assistant, something very simple at the time. First job, fresh out of university, not really sure what I was going to do after that. And not having any commitments in the UK at that time, I thought, well, let's take the opportunity. Let's say yes. And, you know, maybe we'll stay in Hong Kong for a few months. It sounds like a fun place. Let's dive in. That's how it started. And, well, one thing led to another. Life takes over. And suddenly 25 years went by.
Wow, 25, close to 26, right? 25, 26 years. Now, Hong Kong is a cosmopolitan city, and you were from a small town, right, in the UK. Is there any challenges you like to share with us? Any very special moment that you feel the difference, and then what is your learning?
Yep. Well, arriving in Hong Kong, apart from this one business contact, I didn't know anybody. So it was really starting afresh, a fresh, clean slate, blank page in life. And I think that can be a good thing from time to time. Just if you're feeling stagnated, just start all over again. So I landed in Hong Kong. At that time, it was the old Kai Tak Airport. So we landed between the buildings. You could almost wave hello to people as we passed by. And it really was an amazing experience. So many, everything, every sense was bombarded in Hong Kong. I think the sight, the sound, the smell, taste, everything is different. Everything is fresh. Everything is full of energy. It never stops. And the first night in Hong Kong, I stayed in a very famous place. I'm sure you know it, Agnes. The finest hotel in Hong Kong. It was called Chungking Mansion.
Oh my goodness.
So really, it was a backpacker place full of lots of little hostels, some of them legal, some of them maybe not so legal. And I was in this little tiny room. It was July. There was no air conditioning. There were about 5 people in this room.
Wow.
So it was an experience. We were raided by the police at least once, checking IDs and things. There were all sorts of stories you hear about Chungking mansions. It was
I will not go there. Kind of scary. Yeah.
Yes, well, that's it. So it was. I thought if I can survive this, I can survive anything.
True, true.
So from there, I went to. Someone told me, "Oh, you have to live on Lama Island. It's a great place for Westerns. It's really nice.
Mm.
It's almost like a little fishing village."
Hmm.
And once I got there from Chungking Mansions, it was like paradise. And I thought, yes,
It's a
this
one
is going to
hour
work out.
ferry, right? 1 hour ferry
That's
from
it.
Hong Kong.
Yes, yes, yes. So it's a little island, and again, that was really part of the attraction. Live on a little island in a fishing village, go to work in the big city. So I think that helped in a
Mm.
lot of ways. But Hong Kong itself, and I remember the first night I was there, having got over the experience of moving into Chungking Mansions, I walked down to the waterfront. And those of you, if you've been to Hong Kong, the waterfront, it's really one of the wonders of the world. Look across Victoria Harbour, see that skyline, and see all of the little dots of life. Every little dot, I could see it was a person, was a family, was a life. So much life in Hong Kong. And I would just stare at it. It felt like a man-made Grand Canyon, looking across the water, the mountains. So it really was something that was an adventure. And I think I really wanted to jump into that adventure. That first night, just sitting on the bunk beds, I had no idea was this going to work out, but I thought let's just do it, embrace the adventure.
Mm. Starting your life in Hong Kong, and then is there any other thing besides working at the bookshop?
And I'd always had the dream of traveling, and Winnie loves to travel as well. So
Mm.
after a few years in Hong Kong, we thought, okay, let's have a new adventure. Let's travel the world. It was about 1999, 2000. We started to plan. It took
Mhm.
about 2 years really to get the plan together, to get the savings together, to do the research where we wanted to go. And it was more or less second half of 2001, September, September 11th,
Oh,
2001 was when,
9/11.
yeah, yes, I think everyone remembers where they were that day, just seeing the news.
Mm.
And yes, because our idea was to travel from Hong Kong along the Silk Road to Europe and onwards to the UK. And the Silk Road, it goes through Central Asia.
Mhm.
So we were going to be quite close to where eventually the US invaded.
Wow.
So we weren't sure was that going to affect the countries because they were the neighboring countries to Afghanistan. Was the conflict going to spread? Were there going to be difficulties? Were there going to be prejudices against Westerners at that time with the invading force?
Mhm.
But as far as we could tell, it looked like it was fine.
Mm.
Conflict wasn't spreading too much. Just to start with, it sort of calmed down fairly well to start with. So we thought, okay, let's do it. We don't know if we're going to make it all the way through. And at times along the way, we really weren't sure if we were going to be able to get to the next country. There were so many visa issues, transport issues, difficulties along the way. At no point did we really think, okay, we're going to make it. We kept going. I think that's, again, embracing that adventure, not letting the fear of failure stop us moving forward. We just
Mm.
kept going.
Oh, where did you go in this venture? Where did
Adventure. Well, from Hong Kong, started so through China into Western China, Xinjiang, across borders into Central Asia, all of those stands, Kyrgyzstan, Uzbekistan, Turkmenistan, into Iran, and into Turkey and Syria, down through the Middle East, around the Mediterranean to the UK.
Wow.
So it was the venture of a lifetime.
Mm. How long did you go away?
To get to the UK from Hong Kong, it took about 10 months. And then from there, we continued on. We went to Central America, South America. We started in Mexico City, ended up in Rio in Brazil. And
Mhm.
again, another adventure. It was something while we were working in Hong Kong. And Agnes, working in Hong Kong is tough. Every day it's hard.
Yeah, I do agree. Yeah.
Because well, it's good to dream, to have something to aim for. Say, okay, I'm working this hard today, and it's giving me something for the every day I work, it's building towards my dream.
Great,
So that
great.
helped keep us going. And yeah, it was a dream achieved.
Okay, yeah, yeah, that's great. So congratulations, you achieved one of the dream, which is a lot
Mm.
of people's dream to travel around the world. Yeah. And the remaining of time, any special thing happen in your diary of your Hong Kong journey? Can you
Yes.
share with us how it
Well,
also come true?
mm, I guess the next thing that happened, probably after a couple of years, and when you've achieved a dream, you have to think, what do I do next? You know,
Mhm.
it's easy maybe just to sit back and relax and say, you know, I've done the hard work, I've done the hard
Mm.
miles. Now I can just sit back and enjoy life. But I found, you know, once you've achieved a dream, once you relax, you tend to deflate a little and things start to stagnate.
Mm.
Life just starts to pass you by every days, go by working, go home, go to work the next day, go home, a day passes by, a week, a month, a year, and so on. And I really felt I needed something else.
Mm.
And an opportunity came along. One
So,
day, someone called me. Well, someone called me and says, Matt, I want you to join my band. I think at university, I played a little bit, was in a backing band for a gospel choir, which was a lot
mm.
of fun, a lot of experience, good friends from there. But apart from that, not really, just, you know, I guess you call it a bedroom musician. I was playing the keyboard, so you have your instrument in the bedroom, it's just you with the headphones, and that's it.
How many people in your band?
It was actually, it tended to go up and down. It could be quite large. It could be up to about 10 or so people in the band. It was a big band, brass section, drums, guitar, bass, singers, percussion. It was a collective in a way. And
Where
again,
do
a
you
lot of
play?
good experiences. We played all over Hong Kong, a lot of bars in Wan Chai, on stage, different festivals in Hong Kong. It's good to remember festivals now when we can't
You
even leave our houses.
you mentioned some special events, right? Is it Rugby 7?
Yes, yes, yes. So we got now and again someone would call us up and say, "We want you to play at this event." One of them was a fashion show, very
Wow.
interesting. Another was Rugby Seven's after party,
Wow.
and a lot of the time, you know, we were on stage. I would say every performance, I would be just a little bit nervous, and I think that's probably a good thing. When you go on stage, if you're not nervous, then something is wrong. You're not pushing yourself enough. You're not getting that adrenaline, whether it's music, whether it's speaking, teaching, whatever you're doing. I think in front of people, you need that little bit of fear in a way to give you that buzz of adrenaline to give you that.
Yeah, right. So, Matt, I remember when you talk about the fear on stage, I remember we met at Toastmasters, and
Yeah.
I know that was another stage time. And by the way, if you don't know Matt before, but I know today we'll have a lot of audience watching, must be our common friends. If you don't know Matt, I have to say he is someone almost Hong Kong community of Toastmaster. Everyone know who is Matt Steele. He is low profile, but he is a star. And he really, really helps a lot in different kind of projects. Can you share a little bit about your life as Toastmaster, as a leader? Why do you take up a very, very big role?
Well, Toastmasters, it's all about public speaking and stage time, as we mentioned. But it's also like any organization, it needs leadership at
Mhm.
different levels. We have clubs run on a voluntary basis, and then collectives clubs, areas, divisions, districts, really at national level. We had District 89, as Agnes mentioned, was Hong Kong, Macau, southern China.
Mhm.
And through one accident after another, somehow I was asked to be district director by a very influential member called Derek Wong. Well, I thought it was an accident, but somehow I think, as I said, life is interested is made interesting by accidents and the unexpected, being asked the unexpected, given opportunities that you might not have foreseen you would receive, and it again might be a little bit scary, a little bit frightening. was always thought, what if I fail? But I thought, and one day Derek asked me, I want you to be district director. Will you take the role? I thought about it a little while. I thought about the commitment it would need, the time, the energy, the fact that it would be looking after clubs across South China. And I'm sure you noticed, I've lived in Hong Kong, but I am very Western, and I really don't speak too much Chinese. I hadn't visited a lot of those cities in the south of China. But I thought to myself, if I don't say yes, if I turn this down, if I walk away, would I regret that decision? Would I regret the fact that I wouldn't know what benefits I would have received, the experiences I would get? Thinking back, all of the different experiences I've had, the opportunities, what's led me here today to be able to own my own bookshop was all about, really, it was all about saying yes to opportunities, not trying to think of the negative side of what if I fail. And of course, I could fail, but just the fact that there's a possibility of failure shouldn't deter me from facing that dream. That's it. I replied to Derek. I said, yes, I'll do it. And yes, it was tough. Yes, there were a lot of ups and downs, but yes, it was a dream come true. Take that role to travel across China, visit different countries, make a lot of friends, and live a lot of good experience.
Yes, yes, yeah. And we really learn a lot in the journey at Toastmasters as well. And I also know you say yes to a dog as well, and now become your very, very good friend, and share with us. That is a very special story.
Yes, well, that's it. Well, one day I had a call from Winnie, and she had been contacted by a dog charity, rescue charity. Matt, I've been asked if we can foster a little tiny puppy. The puppy was abandoned, was found next to a rubbish bin at the side of the road in Hong Kong. And this big, little tiny ball of fur. She had a big wound on her back and a broken spine. Completely broken. Her legs were paralyzed back. The charity didn't know, would she live a week, 2 weeks, maybe a little bit longer, but they needed somebody that could give her some care, give her some love. The last days of her life, a very short life. And so I thought, what do I say? We had a family dog when I was very young, but I'd never looked after a dog. We had cats, but it's very independent. Dogs really need a lot of looking after, especially a disabled dog. Something we have to give all of our energy to. And again, I thought about it, and I thought, I can't say no. We have to say yes. We have to give this little dog, her name was Bumblebee, a chance. Maybe it's just for a few days, but as it turned out, she lived on. She lived on. She kept fighting. She worked through everything with a lot of help from, especially from Winnie. And she grew and she grew and she grew and she grew and she kept getting stronger and happier. She's one of the happiest dogs that I know. She just loves life. After a few months, she was still going. She was getting stronger. The charity donated a pair of wheels, like a little wheelchair, like a chariot, which attaches to the back, hold up the back legs. And she learned how to run, and now she loves running. Beautiful sight to see.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. I mean, it's really the destiny. Two of you met in Hong Kong, and then now you brought her to England, and which is really fantastic. Now you have more space for her to run, right?
True. Yes. Yeah. She's out in the garden right now. I think she's here. That's one of the benefits of the UK. In Hong Kong, if you're out at night, mosquitoes. Yeah. But in the UK, the evenings are calm and fresh, and she loves just being out in the cool air, looking around, watching everything. So she's very happy.
So does Bumblebee meet any new boyfriend or any new
Well,
friends?
she's always very curious. A lot of dogs don't know quite what to make of her with the wheels,
Mm.
but she soon makes friends. So,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
I think
Funny.
you really help this dog to bring the strength and also really bring the confidence and really a lot of love to this dog. I can see.
Mm,
And then you move back to
mm,
England after like
yeah,
25 years. So what
yeah,
makes you move back and how did you start your bookshop?
mm, yeah. It was about just over a year ago now, probably around around March or April last year. I began to think, things were getting tougher in Hong Kong for different reasons, but business especially, book business is always a little bit tough. It had its ups and downs in Hong Kong. It was getting harder, and I thought, what do I really want to do for the rest of my life? Do I want to keep struggling, fighting in Hong Kong, keep doing what I'm doing? What do I really want to do? And when I thought about it, thought over for a long time, what I really want to do is I want to own my own bookshop.
Mm.
I've worked for other people in bookshops, the big brands, Dimmicks, Australian company, which was in Hong Kong. There were more than 10 stores at one time, franchise stores, which we were supporting, uh, working for a very traditional, very well established, very uh, prestigious family run bookstore in Hong Kong, the oldest bookstores in Hong Kong.
Is it Swindon?
Swindon, that's right. Yes, yes, yes.
Yes,
Started in Hong Kong in
I bought my
1918.
textbook. I bought my textbook from Swindon.
Right. Yes, that's it. Everyone in Hong Kong grows up with Swindon. It's so well known. And I was very happy to work at the company. It's a great company. But I thought, is this my dream? And I realized it's not my dream. What I want to do is own my own bookstore.
Mm.
And looking at, you know, business in Hong Kong is tough. The
Mm.
pressures, rents especially. And I thought, if I want to achieve my dream, Hong Kong is not the place to do that. Not,
Mm.
it's not within my capacity, within my finances to do that.
Mm.
But looking at the UK, book business is booming, really. Independent bookshops are having a real renaissance. People are really enjoying supporting independent bookshops, buying physical books themselves for their children. And I could see that opportunity.
Mm.
And I thought, okay, this is the opportunity to have my dream, really my lifelong dream. It's going to mean walking away from everything I've been living with for the last 25 years. It's going to be another blank slate, another white page in a way. And I thought, do I give up everything that I lived with to achieve the dream? And then I thought again about regret. I don't take this opportunity, would I regret for the rest of my life?
Mm.
Just having a job rather than having my own business, my own dream. So I
Okay.
thought the time was right. The time was right to
That was.
move, and we started to plan.
Mm.
And very lucky, got some very good support from my parents. They were really the scouting team. So because I thought I wanted to move back close to where I grew up in Devon,
Mm.
and what we really need to do is to find either a large village or a town somewhere within the county of Devon or close by that doesn't have a bookshop at the moment, doesn't have a big chain to compete with or another independent,
Mm-hmm.
but has a good sized population, enough people.
How many people living in
Investment
Ivy Bridge?
places.
How
So
many?
I've reached it's about 12,000. I didn't even realize it's a big place. In the I think it was in the 80s or the 90s, it was the fastest growing town in Europe.
Wow.
Just because there's a lot of it's very interesting. It's a little village. There are a lot of developments around it. So
Uh-huh.
the center is very concentrated. Right? Everything, all of the commerce is right just along one street. It's like a village, but there's a lot of building around a lot of people live mostly commuting to work in other cities close by.
Are you living at Ivy Bridge? Are you?
Yes, yes, which is great. After having a 1 hour ferry, ferry for me to arrive, like
Yeah.
it now takes 5 minutes to get to work.
Oh
So
no!
I'm loving that.
How close? How close?
So it's relative. It's about 5 minutes.
Wonderful. You
So
know
it's
what I really like?
mm,
You can choose the name of the area as your
mm.
shop name.
Well, I thought keep it simple. It's you want a name that people will a
Remember?
name that tells people what you do. Yes. So yes, we give solutions. We sell books. We're Ivy Ridge. So let's just call it the Ivy Ridge Bookshop.
Right.
I'm thinking as well, if we call it the Ivy Ridge Bookshop, maybe that will deter anyone else opening another bookshop in Ivy Ridge. We'll take the market. And so yes, so within the months coming up to the move, and obviously I'm sure Agnes, you know as well, there's a lot of planning going into moving. Just
Yeah.
so much to deal with. Animals, the pets as well. That's probably the hardest part of the move. There's a lot of
Quarantine.
administration, red tape, very difficult.
Mhm.
But we made it. We landed in the UK. We got end of November last year, and again, luckily with the preparation work with parents, they found a site
Mhm.
to be a potential for the store. So really, first week of December, just a few days after that, we went to look at the site, the empty shop, and again, at that time, there was the thought, is this going to work?
And you
And really, we had no idea. There was nothing really to go on. Does this town need a bookshop? Do they want a bookshop? Are there enough people who are going to buy books?
Mhm.
Are we going to survive? Are we going to completely fail? There was really no way to know because there was no track record.
So you and Winnie do a lot of research first, planning, research, and then execute to the part of
Hmm,
like getting a designer. What was the
hmm.
journey? What was the process?
Well, luckily, with the experience I'd had in Hong Kong, I opened a lot of bookshops for
Mm.
academics of the different franchise owners. So I knew the process. It's almost, you have like a spreadsheet. I can't even think of the name, but it's project management. You have to look at every step. What do I need to do first? Second, what are the pressure points we need to hit to make it? When do we need to start planning for when we see the date we want to set to open? Originally, we set an opening date of beginning of March. Uh, January, February, maybe there'll be COVID problems, lockdowns, and so on. So let's set March as a date. In the end, we had to open in April, longer lockdown. It gave us more time to plan. But it was really, yes, we started, there we were in beginning of December, just with an empty room. That's all we had. And a few contacts from Hong Kong, people we knew, we talked to in the UK, publishers, buy books. So we just planned step by step. Then first of all, you said, looking at how we're going to fit it out, furniture. Looked at different solutions, but let me tell you a secret, Agnes.
Yes.
All of that furniture, it's from
Oh,
IKEA.
from where?
It's from IKEA.
Oh,
You wouldn't believe it.
yeah, it's from IKEA, which is easy to and available, very easy to.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yes. So, we visited IKEA really to look for furniture for the house. I talked about, okay, we need different commercial shelving, but we went into IKEA, we saw all those shelves, and we thought, you know what, this could work.
Good,
And
good.
it's a lot cheaper as well.
Yeah.
I think that's really the secret or a tip for starting a business is just make it as simple as you can.
Mm,
Don't get too complicated, have big design dreams. I've seen that in the past. And that's
yeah.
caused issues. I think go in as simple and as cheap really as you can. You want to keep costs as low as you can, control costs. And it's just Winnie and me in the store. And we have to put in staff at the moment,
Mhm.
things as lean as we can. And yeah, we did everything ourselves for the setup. didn't need a designer. Luckily, we persuaded the landlord to do the floor for us. The ceiling was already there. The walls were already painted. We just
So everything is quite smooth, right? So I'm very happy for you. Yes. What advice you would share with us about following our dreams and any action we should really observe and also take and be mindful?
Yeah, I think there was a phrase which sort of came out at one time. I said to someone, I said, when you're faced with these situations, following your dreams, say yes first, regret later.
Yes.
When you take on a big dream, of course, there will be challenges. Of course, there will be tough times. There will be demands. But don't think about it. If that's what you want to go for, just say yes. Work through the difficulties when you get to them. If you commit yourself, if you have that energy, if you have that belief, do as much planning as you can, as much anticipation of what you think might be the difficulties, and see how you can work around, see how you can make a plan B, plan A doesn't work. And I think it's living with that fear.
I like it.
We can't get away from fear altogether, because then you're just living in your little bubble.
Thank you very much, Matt. Now, my channel is about gratefulness and also gratitude. So in your journey, anyone you particularly like to show gratitude and show your gratefulness?
A lot of people. I'd say Winnie, especially, moving together to the UK. She's very much left everything behind, Hong Kong, family, and so on. But she's also living that dream together with Bumblebee. Of course, my parents have given us a lot of support. And in the bookshop, there's the community. No business can be in isolation. You have to embrace the community, welcome them in, welcome the support, thankful, be grateful for that support. And every day people will come into the store and say, oh, how are you doing? We really hope you do well. We love you being here in Agnes.
Wonderful.
Exciting thing for everybody here. And knowing that, okay, yes, we're able to cover our costs, make a bit of a living, but we're also making people happy, bringing a little bit of joy.
Yeah, thank you so much for your sharing. I can see the whole transformation is go to the path of happiness, and also how you help a lot of people to feel joy when they come to visit your shop as well. So keep on your spirit, and then always say yes without regret. This is really okay. Well, before we end, I would like to give you some time to share with us the website or the address of your bookshop, or regularly how can we support your bookshop as well? Can you share with us?
Yeah. Well, we have our website, www.ivybridgebookshop.com. Very easy to remember.
Yes, here.
It's a fully transactional website, so books are available to order through the websites. You can order from around the world. And especially if you have family, if you have friends, colleagues, and so on in the UK, then it's a great way to order. Books can be delivered in the UK very quickly. If you're visiting the UK, Ivybridge, it's about 2 or 3 miles west of London. Beautiful part of the country, Devon and Cornwall. Very popular with tourists, beautiful countryside, coastline, a lot of heritage. Give us a visit in Ivybridge. We'd be very happy to meet you there.
So thank you very, very much, Matt. And from your experience, it really helped you to have confidence to open a bookshop. And this is also your dream, to own a bookshop. So I wish you all the best and also success in your journey. If you enjoy my YouTube video, please give me a thumbs up and also subscribe and also turn on your notification as well. And I wish to see everyone again in the next episode. Okay, bye-bye.
Thank you, Agnes.
Bye. Bye-bye, Matt.